Welcome back to our series on indie film budgeting. Today we are stripping away the romance of the creative process and looking at your screenplay for what it actually is. An unitemized invoice waiting to be paid. Most directors read a script and see emotions, character arcs, and themes. A business-minded filmmaker reads a script and sees the lines, items, operational friction, and financial liability. If you don't know how to audit your pages, your movie will die in pre-production. Today is about the script breakdown. This is a clinical process of counting every single physical element on the page to assign a true dollar value to your creative choices before you ever build a spreadsheet. To an untrained writer, a screenplay is just words on paper. They write a line like, "Hey, walk into a busy restaurant," thinking it adds scale. I look at the line and see 20 background extras, location permits, and a ruined schedule. Every single noun in your script costs money. If a character holds a coffee cup, that's a prop. If they spill the coffee, that's a wardrobe duplicate. If the coffee stains the couch, that's production design damage liability. The breakdown process requires surgical precision. You don't skim the text, you dissect it line by line, highlighting elements in distinct industry standard colors. Cast is red, props are purple, wardrobes is yellow, and sound cues are brown. When you finish a proper breakdown, your script should look like a crime scene. If a page is completely covered in multicolored highlights, that page is high-cost marginal hazard that needs to be value engineered immediately. Let's look at the foundational metric of film scheduling. Page heights in production. We don't measure a scene by sentences or paragraphs. We divide every single page into 8 equal vertical sections. A standard shooting day on a professional independent set aims to clear roughly 4 to 5 pages. If a scene spans 3 to 8 of a page but features 5 distinct characters and an active stunt, those 3/8 will take 6 hours to clear. That is where amateur producers miscalculate. They assume a short scene is a cheap scene, but the clinical math of budgeting dictates that density of physical elements, not the word count, determines the actual cost of the shoot day. Let's break down the hidden costs of a single character. Every speaking role you add to the script doesn't just increase the talent payroll, it triggers a cascade of compounding operational expenses across the entire ecosystem. One extra actor means one more costume source fit and maintain. It means one more mouth to feed at catering. It means additional SAG-AFTRA insurance premiums and pension contributions. It means a larging staging area and more transport. Now, apply the LM model filter. If you have 5 characters sitting in a concrete stairwell, you can capture their quickly coverage. If you add a 6th character who only has 2 lines, you just added an entire angle of camera coverage. Extra angle means resetting the lights, repositioning the area Alexa, and burning another 45 minutes of high velocity production time. By cutting that 6th character and giving their lines to an existing cast member, you save thousands. Let's talk props. Amateurs write props into scenes because they think it gives the actors something natural to do with their hands. But a prop on paper is a tracking continuity nightmare on set. If a character is eating a sandwich in a high-tension scene, you don't just buy one sandwich. You need 20 identical sandwiches prepared by production and design to ensure the food looks exactly the same across every single take and camera angle. If the actor takes a bite on line 1 during the wide shot, they must take the exact same bite on line 1 during the close-up. If they mess up, you throw that prop away and reset. That is capital literally being consumed on camera. That is why stewardship is a creative discipline. By removing non-essential physical elements from the script during pre-production, you clear the operational runway so your elite crew can move with absolute velocity. Let's audit. Wardrobe. A traditional script features characters changing clothes every time a new narrative day begins. On a 20-location feature, that means tracking dozens of distinct outfits and continuity variables. Limited environmental movie, we value engineering the timeline by structuring the narrative to take place over a single high-stakes night. We limit the wardrobe to 1 primary outfit per character. This single choice deletes hours on set wardrobe transitions. Your actors show up, step into their uniform, and stay in character for the entire duration of principle for photography, 0 wasted motion, 0 technical friction. Let's look at the breakdown trajectory that terrifies line producers the most. Special effects, stunts. If your script stays, the door explodes, you just introduce a massive spike in your daily burn rate. An explosion requires a certified pyrotechnician, specialized municipal permits, emergency medical personnel on standby, and a guaranteed asset destruction fee for the location. That 1 second of screen time easily costs $10,000. As a business-minded director, you pivot. You don't show the door exploding from the outside. You place the camera inside the room with characters. You use a massive sound cue, practical light flash, and dust falling from the ceiling. The psychological tension of what the character hears is infinitely scarier to the audience than a cheap digital effect. More importantly, you just achieved the exact same narrative impact for $50 in practical expendables instead of $10,000 in cash. This is the core of value engineering cinema. You are not compromising the vision, you're mastering the execution. You use the script breakdown to isolate the high-cost elements and replace them with high-concept craft. Every page is accounted for. You transfer that data into a production element matrix. This spreadsheet lists every scene that page aids, the required cast, the specific props, and the technical notes. When you look at the matrix globally, patterns of efficiency will emerge. You might notice that a specific prop is only used for 2 lines in a scene, 14, but requires a specialized rental safety coordinator. That is your cue to execute a script edit. You ruthlessly rewrite the scene to eliminate the outlier asset. Every line item you cross off the matrix before production begins is cold, hard cash returned directly to your contingency reserve. Your script must be a lean machine. If a scene doesn't actively move the plot forward or deepen the high-stakes tension of the narrative, it is an expensive luxury your independent budget cannot afford to support. Remember, your investors are looking for operational rigor. When you can show them a breakdown matrix that proves every single scene has been engineered for maximum speed and minimum cost, you build an ironclad professional trust, proving that you're an excellent steward of their capital. You aren't playing a status game. You're running a disciplined startup venture designed to return value to your partners before it ever hit the edit suite. This analytical approach completely changes the culture on set. When your 5-person skeleton crew looks at the daily call sheet, they see a highly optimized battle plan with every element has been vetted for efficiency. There are no surprise props that weren't sourced. There are no sudden wardrobe changes. The lighting setup. The director of photography can light the space with absolute certainty because the boundaries of the page are fixed. Amateurs view this level of structural restriction as a prison that kills their artistic freedom. True professionals know that absolute limitations is ultimate catalyst for high-end cinematic creativity. When you can't hide behind expensive car chase, massive extra crews, or constant location changes, you are forced to rely on the actual foundation of the craft: relentless pacing, sharp dialogue, and compelling performances. Your script breakdown is the bridge between the dream in your head and the reality of your bank account. Do not outsource this step to an assistant. The director must own the math of the page to own the control of the set. Go through your screenplay with a marker and a calculator. Count the bodies, count the props, calculate the time it takes to move the camera from every single creative choice you made on the laptop. Stop writing checks with your typewriter that your production budget can't cash. Audit the page, delete the logistical bloat, and ensure that every dollar you spend is working hard right where it belongs, directly on the screen. Tomorrow, we move to day 4, where we look at the moving trap, the exact logistical error that destroys independent movies before they even reach the first cut. Hit subscribe, and I will see you right here tomorrow.